Hi, I'm Sasha. I'm so excited today to be testing out products in the Rose Quartz collection from Aether Beauty. Today I have the Rose Quartz Crystal Gemstone palette. This is an eyeshadow palette with 12 different shades. I also have the brand new Crystal Charged Cheek palette. This one comes with 2 blushes and 1 highlighter. Here are the swatches for the eyeshadow palette. There are 4 matte shades, and the rest are a mix of shimmer, duochrome, and metallic finishes. While the base is rosy neutral tones, you'll also find some other shades such as charcoal, violet gray, antique champagne, rose, and a beautiful lavender blue duochrome. Here are the swatches for the cheek palette. There are 3 different shades, including 2 soft focused blushes and 1 luminous highlighter. The blushes are more matte, while the highlighter has a beautiful shimmery finish. The highlighter is a beautiful shimmering pink tone, while the blushes are a beautiful pinky peach and vibrant pink. To help show the range of this eyeshadow palette, I wanted to do 3 different looks for you today. The first look is a soft, everyday look focusing on the rosy tones. The second look is more of a smoky night out look using the charcoal tones. Look number 3 is a more playful look using more sparkly shades and a wider range of colors. If you want to skip to a particular look, I'll put links in the description box below. I'll also be using this cheek palette in different ways depending on the eyeshadow look. So let's get right into it. First, I'm going to take this fluffy brush into the shade here called Sandstone. Just going to put it all over the lid and work it up into the crease. This is a beautiful soft neutral shade that just puts down a nice base. Next, I'm going to take a flat packing brush into this beautiful pink tone here called Heartstone. Just going to press this all over the lid as a beautiful soft pink base layer. This is such a beautiful tone. It's got a bit of coral to it. It's not entirely a matte pink. I like how there's not a ton of glitter in this shade. It's mostly matte with just a hint of sparkle. Now I'm going to take this smudger brush into this beautiful tone here called Aura. I'm just going to work this on the outer corner of the eye, kind of in a diagonal shape, and up into the crease. It's really cool how these shades have actual rose quartz in them. Now I want to do a similar look on the lower lash line. So I'm going to take this packing brush in this shade here called Heartstone. Just going to work this on the lower lash line from about the outer corner to 2/3 the way across. Just kind of pressing that in to make sure we get a nice bold color. Trying to make sure to blend it into the shade above it as well. I'm just going to take a tiny bit of this beautiful shade here called Aura and work that into the very edge of the outer corner. Now I'm going to take this brush into this beautiful shimmery pink called Rose Quartz. I'm going to work that on the inner corner of the eye. Just want to create a nice light highlight there. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side as well. I'm also going to take this under the lash line, trying to make sure it meets up with the Heartstone shade we have along the bottom. I just want to deepen up that crease a little bit more, so I'm going to use a little more of this shade here called Aura. Now I'm going to use this blending brush to just kind of soften those edges. Now I'm going to use some of this Tarte Surfer Curl Mascara. This one is also categorized as clean at Sephora. I like this one pretty well because it seems to give nice definition and length. Same thing on the other side. Now I'm going to use a little bit of this Honest Beauty mascara. I'm just going to use this lightly on my lower lashes. This brush is nice and long, so I think it's a little bit easier to control than some of the fluffy volumizing mascara brushes. Moving on to the cheek palette. Since we have a beautiful soft pink look today, I want to use this lovely pink shade here called Self Love. I'm just going to use a little bit of it. It seems to be pretty highly pigmented. I'm going to try mixing it with a little of the shade here called Compassion. To do the other side, I'm going to mix them right off the bat. So a little of Self Love, a little of Compassion, and just blend it up into the cheek. I'm just going to blend it out with my finger a little bit to soften those edges. These are such beautiful, highly pigmented shades. You really don't need a lot. I think this would last you a long time. Now I'm going to use some of this beautiful shimmering pink highlighter called Heart. I'm just going to take it on this highlighter brush, work it on the top of the cheekbone here. Oh wow, that's really pretty. It's almost like a shimmery, silvery pink sheen. It's such a beautiful highlight. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So it looks like it's definitely buildable. You can do a softer highlight or you can build it up to something a little bit brighter. What's interesting is that it really catches the light nicely, but with the lights more diffused on me, I feel like it still looks very natural. So I'm going to build it up a little bit on this cheekbone. I'm going to use a little bit down the front of the nose, on the cupid's bow, top of the chin. I'm also going to put a little bit under the brow bone here. Since this is such a gorgeous shade, I also want to try a little in the inner corner of my eye. Just going to take a little on this tiny brush and work it right in there. I think it just adds a little extra something. For bronzer today, I'm going to use this BareMinerals Invisible Bronze in Fair to Light. I'm just going to take it on this brush and work it in the hollows of the cheekbones, both sides. I also like to put it in the hairline, the sides of the nose, down the jaw and neck. If you're enjoying this video, please like or consider subscribing. I post new beauty videos every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Central. I'd love to see you there. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be the first to watch my new videos. For lips today, I'm going to use this Kosas Wet Lip Oil. This one is a deep pink shade called Malibu. I'm going to place this on the center and work it out. Aether Beauty also recently came out with lip gloss, but a lot of them are currently sold out on Sephora, so I wasn't able to get them. But be sure to keep an eye out for that because I think they'll be restocking soon. I think this looks really pretty with this eye look. I love how the lips are a little bit darker pink and the eye look is that light, bright, beautiful soft pink. I also love how all the tones in this Rose Quartz cheek palette work so well with the tones in the eyeshadow palette. It really does feel like they were designed to work together. So that's it for look number 1. If you want to skip to the next look or the summary, I'll put links in the description below. Otherwise, I'll wash this off and meet you right back here for look number 2. Alright, now I'm back and ready for look number 2. For this one, I'm going to do a smoky gray look focusing on these charcoal tones. To get started, I'm going to lay down a nice base with this gray tone here called Aphrodite. It's a beautiful soft gray. They actually describe this as a violet gray matte, so it actually has a bit of a cool tone to it. I'm just going to work this into the crease and make sure we have a nice soft base. Now I'm going to take a densely packed brush into this darker gray shade here called Grounding. This is a really beautiful deep charcoal shade. Just going to add some nice definition to this look. Now the same thing on the other side. Just kind of take it in a diagonal direction and then up into the crease. Making sure to blend this out so everything looks nice and soft. I'm going to work this on the outer half of the eye a little bit just to make sure we have a little bit more definition. Now I'm going to take a small brush into this beautiful shade here called Crystalline. I'm just going to work this into the inner corner to give a little bit of a highlight. This one is a bit warmer than the other tone, so I'm trying to make sure to blend it in really nicely. Now I want to do a bit of a smudgy look on the lower lash line. So I'm going to take this small brush into the shade Aphrodite, and then I'm going to draw this along the lower lash line about 2/3 across. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. This is just kind of giving us a base. It's not exactly the same as the liner, just more soft color here. I think I'm actually going to take this a little bit closer to the inner corner, but I'm still leaving that very edge clean. Now I'm going to take a little bit more of this shimmery light shade called Crystalline on this tiny brush. I'm going to work this in the inner corner area, making sure to work around that tear duct area so the whole thing has that nice shimmery highlight. Now I'm going to use this Pacifica Cherry Matte Setting Spray. I'm going to spray this liner brush. Then I'm going to dip it into this deep charcoal shade called Grounding. Then I'm going to press this in along that lash line, kind of like a liner. I'm going to do the same thing on the lower lash line, just about halfway across to give this a little bit more depth. Now I'm going to spray that brush again so we can do the same thing on the other side. Kind of stamp that on that lash line there like a liner. I basically just want this color to be a little bit more defined so we have kind of a smoked out liner effect. I think it's really nice when you can use shades that are already in your eyeshadow palette because you know they'll go well with the eyeshadow that you're wearing. Just going to smoke out this corner a tiny bit more so it meets the eyeliner a little bit better. Now I'm going to use some of this Honest Beauty mascara. Just going to take this on the upper and lower lashes. This one also comes with a primer that you can use if you want it to be a little bit more bold, but today I'm just going to use it plain. I'm also taking it vertically on the lower lashes. Same thing on the other side. Just kind of wiggle it from root to tip, and then just a little bit on these lower lashes as well. Now I'm going to use the cheek palette again. Since these are beautiful, highly pigmented shades, I'm going to mix it a little bit with this Jane Iredale Mineral Foundation. This is the shade Natural. So basically I just take a little of this powder and then a little of the shade Compassion, and then blend that out on the cheeks. This is a really nice way to get a soft finish, especially when you have a highly pigmented blush. You can also do this if you apply too much. It'll help blend it out and create a more diffused effect. Now I'm going to use some of this beautiful highlighter in Heart. I'm just going to run that along the top of the cheekbone. I'm going to do a slightly lighter version of this than we did before. It's such a beautiful highlight. I feel like you don't need a lot and it really has a nice shimmer to it. I'm just going to put it down tip of the nose, Cupid's bow, top of the chin. Now I'm going to use this BareMinerals Gen Nude Radiant Lipstick. This is the shade Tutu. This is a really beautiful soft pink shade. It just kind of adds a little hint of color without making it too bold. I really love this pink color because I feel like it goes really well with smoky gray tones. I think it looks really pretty with this eyeshadow look. Now I'm going to use a little bit of this BareMinerals Invisible Bronze in Fair to Light. Just going to work this in under the cheekbones, along the hairline, down the sides of the nose, tip of the chin, down the jaw and neck. Alright, so that's it for look number 2. You can use the links in the description below to skip ahead. Otherwise, I'll wash this off and meet you right back here for look number 3. Alright, now I'm back and ready for look number 3. So to get started, I'm going to use a little bit of this neutral shade here called Scorpio. Just going to work that up into the crease sort of as a transition shade. Can do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to work that on the outer corner just a little bit to give us a little bit more definition. Now I'm going to take this packing brush to this beautiful shiny maroon shade called Aura. I'm just going to place that on the outer corner of the eyelid here. I want to make sure this color comes out nice and bold. I'm also going to try to work that up into the crease just a little bit to give us some more definition. Now I'm going to use some of this beautiful shimmery lavender blue shade called Astarte. I'm going to press that in on the middle of the eyelid. Try not to blend it too far over. I'm going to try dipping my finger in it to see how it comes out. Oh wow, that's really beautiful. I love this duochrome because it's like blue and lavender at the same time. It's just a really beautiful shimmery shade. It's not overly chunky too, which I really like. For the inner corner, I want to use this beautiful shade here called Divine. Just going to take it on my pinky finger to make sure I get a nice amount and press that in on the inner corner. Right now it looks a little bit like a stripe, but I'm going to blend it out in just a moment. So I'm just going to use a small brush to sort of blend this together. I don't want it to be too blended, just soft enough so that it doesn't have a harsh edge. Now I want to do a similar look on the lower lash line. I'm going to start from light to dark, first using the shade here called Divine. Just going to press this in along the lower lash line, not going all the way across, just about 1/3. Same thing on the other side, making sure to get around that tear duct area. I really like the shimmers in this palette because they're bold and they show up well, but they're not like that really chunky glitter that gets everywhere. I'm going to use that brush in this blue lavender shade called Astarte. Just press that in the center of the lower lash line. I want to make sure that it meets the lighter gold shade that we have there, but it's still defined in its own area. Now I'm going to take this same brush in the shimmery maroon shade called Aura. Just going to work this on the outer corner of the eye so it meets the colors we have above as well. Now I'm going to use this ColourPop BFF Creme Gel Liner. This one is in the shade Charmer. This is a really beautiful purple tone. Just going to take it along the inner corner of my eye here. It comes out kind of like a brighter purple when I do this. Same thing on the upper lash line. Also going to go to that inner corner as well. Now I'm going to use this Honest Beauty Mascara. Just going to use this from root to tip to make those lashes nice and defined. Also want to make sure to get the tops of the lashes, especially since we don't have eyeliner on today. A little bit on those lower lashes as well. You can also kind of blink into it, sometimes that helps. And the lower lashes as well. Alright, so that's it for the eye look. I'm just going to touch up my blush and highlight really quickly. Just going to add a tiny bit of self-love here. This is a really highly pigmented blush. You really only need to use just a touch to get it. It's such a beautiful shade. It's a nice, vibrant rosy pink. Now I'm going to use just a little bit more of this beautiful shimmery pink highlight called Heart. Just going to take this along the top of the cheekbone, on both sides, down the front of the nose, Cupid's bow, top of the chin. I'm also going to take a tiny bit on the brow bone just to make it a little bit more shimmery. Now I'm going to use this Pacifica Enlightened Gloss. This is the shade Beach Kiss. This one has a really pretty shimmer in it and I think it'll look great with the shimmer that we have in the eye look. It's very similar colors. I think this looks just beautiful with this eye look. It's like the perfect gloss shade. Alright, so that's it for look number 3. Just as a quick summary, I really enjoyed using this Rose Quartz Crystal Gemstone palette. I feel like it's an incredibly versatile eyeshadow palette and you can create a lot of different looks with it. I really like the color range. I feel like there's a nice mix of mattes and shimmers and lighter tones and darker tones. While it is called the Rose Quartz palette, I really like how you can expand to more than just rosy looks. I think this is a great everyday palette and you can also do things like smoky looks with these deeper gray tones for going out as well. This one is priced around $58. I actually feel like this is a really fair price for what it is. This company is incredibly careful about how they source their ingredients and how they do their packaging as well. Everything about this package is really thoughtfully designed. It's a paperback compact that uses this nice little elastic. They also put a note here explaining how they intentionally omitted the mirror to make it more eco-friendly, and I love how this whole thing is completely recyclable. I was really impressed with the sourcing for the ingredients for these products as well. They use a lot of organic and fair trade ingredients, and they also make sure that things are as eco-friendly and socially responsible as possible. So while this is a more expensive palette, I feel like a lot of the money is going towards sustainability, whereas with a lot of luxury brands, it's going into packaging and marketing. Next, we have the Crystal Charged Cheek Palette in Rose Quartz. First of all, I just wanted to say how beautiful this is and how well it's designed to match the eyeshadow palette. These two just look so beautiful together. This one has a very similar design with the beautiful elastic, and it also has the same holographic printed message about how they thoughtfully made the decision to remove the magnets and mirrors from the palette. As far as the products in the palette themselves, I really enjoyed using them. I especially love this highlighter in the shade Heart. I feel like it has a really natural finish and is really easy to build up, but also can be worn every day for a nice subtle shimmer. I also recently tried their Supernova highlighter, but by far this one is my favorite. I also think these two blush shades are really beautiful. They're very highly pigmented, so a little goes a long way. For everyday looks, you might want to use a lighter hand with these, but I love that they're highly pigmented because you can build them up, and I feel like they're more versatile for a variety of skin tones. As far as the shades themselves, these are actually two of my favorites. This one is a little bit more of a peach tone, and this one is more of a true pink. Between these two shades, it covers almost every makeup look that I've been doing recently, and so I'm really happy to have them all together in one sustainable palette. This is also a talc-free palette, and it has really gentle, carefully sourced ingredients. There's a lot more information about how they source their ingredients on the Aether Beauty website and Instagram, so I highly recommend checking that out if you're interested in hearing more. This one will be released April 1st and is supposed to retail for about $44. It looks like they're also having at least one more, which is called Ruby. There's a picture on the Aether Beauty Instagram with 3 different palettes. For sure there's coming out with one called Ruby that's a different variation for the same price. It looks like they also have a listing on their website for one called Joshua Tree, which may be the third one in the picture on their Instagram. Overall, I really enjoyed using both of these products, and I think they work really well together. If you're looking for sustainable makeup, this is some of the best on the market. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. Please let me know in the comments if you have a favorite green, clean, or natural beauty brand. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.